Wait, inside me? What does that even mean? The curious alien girl asked in confusion. The human had barely expected to survive the landing, let alone have company afterward. When Ethan's shuttle crashed on the violet sands of Anthros 4, his systems fried, his communication dish bent, he'd been prepared to live out his remaining days patching leaks and praying. But then she arrived, the girl with skin like pale starlight, hair that shimmered like silver strands, and eyes far too big for her delicate face. At first, he thought she was hallucination. She stood at the edge of his broken ship, tilting her head like a bird, studying him. She was barefoot, toes curling into the shifting purple sand. A robe of some living fabric wrapped around her slender frame. She looked young, maybe late teens by human standards, but there was something ancient about her gaze. "You are not from here," she said. Her voice was musical but clipped, as if the words were new in her mouth. "No," Ethan rasped, clutching the bandage at his ribs. "Not from here at all." She stepped closer, nose twitching like she could smell his pain. Then, without asking permission, she pressed her glowing hand against his chest. Heat surged through him, easing the fire in his side.
He gasped.
What did you just... Heal, she said simply, as though that explained everything. Over the next few days, she returned again and again. She introduced herself as Cyril. She asked endless questions. Why did he have only 2 eyes? Why did he hide inside a shell of dead metal? Why did his body need cooked food? And one night, while the dying sun dipped below Anthros dunes, she leaned forward suddenly, frowning at him. "You carry something inside," she said. Ethan blinked. "You mean injuries?" "Yeah, I've got plenty of."
"No."
"Not wounds." She pointed at his stomach, then lower, hesitantly. "Life.
Seed.
Your kind makes life inside." He choked. What are you talking about?" Her brow furrowed as she tried to piece together the words she'd studied from his mind. Your kind plants life within. Your kind joins, and one carries inside until it becomes small person.
Correct.
Ethan flushed scarlet.
Oh.
You mean reproduction? Her head tilted. Reproduction, she repeated slowly.
Yes.
But inside. He scratched the back of his neck, trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
That's how it works for humans. Her eyes widened, glowing faintly with reflected starlight. Wait, inside me. What does that even mean? Her voice was so loud and utterly bewildered that Ethan doubled over, laughing despite the pain in his ribs. You don't, he wheezed. You don't understand at all, do you? Cyril crossed her arms, glaring. Of course not. My people weave new life in chambers of light. We do not carry it. That is dangerous. What if you fall? What if you are struck? The small person would shatter. This is foolish. Ethan smirked. Humans have been doing it for a long time. Works well enough. From then on, Cyril was obsessed. She bombarded him with questions. Does it hurt when they grow inside you? Do you choose which form it takes? What if too many try to grow at once? Why don't your males do the carrying? That is unfair. Ethan tried to answer as best he could, though sometimes his explanations only deepened her confusion. One evening, under a sky alive with streaking green auroras, she sat beside him, eyes gleaming with uncontainable curiosity. Show me, she whispered. Show you what? How the seed becomes life inside. Ethan coughed violently, nearly choking on the dried rations he'd been chewing. Cyril, that's not something I can just show you. Her ears flushed a pale lavender. Then tell me. Every detail. I must understand.
So he did.
Hesitant at first, But when he saw the intensity of her focus, he explained biology, genetics, how cells divided, how the embryo grew inside the womb. She listened, rapt, eyes wide as if he was unraveling the deepest mystery of the stars. When he finished, she leaned back slowly, her lips parting in awe. "You are fragile creatures," she said softly, "and yet so strong. To carry life inside, to protect it with your very body. That is beautiful." For the first time, her voice carried something more than curiosity, something like reverence. Days blurred into weeks. Ethan's wounds healed. His ship remained beyond repair. Cyril became his guide, his lifeline. She showed him edible plants, taught him which dunes hid water, introduced him to glowing winged creatures she called skyflits. And she never stopped asking questions. But now, her questions were different. "If I were human," she asked one night as they sat close by a fire of pale driftwood, "would I carry life inside too?" "Yes," Ethan said. "If you were human, you could." Her silver hair glowed in the firelight. She turned those wide eyes toward him. "I wonder what it would feel like." His heart thudded. "It's not something you can just wonder into existence, Cyril." "I know," she murmured. Then, after a long pause, she whispered, "But if it were with you, I would not be afraid." Ethan swallowed hard. For the first time, he saw her not as some strange alien girl who didn't understand human ways, but as someone achingly close, someone who wanted to bridge that impossible gulf between species. The bond between them deepened. Where once Cyril had come only with questions, now she lingered in silence beside him, their shoulders brushing as they watched alien moons rise. She laughed more easily, even when she didn't understand his jokes. And sometimes, when she forgot herself, she would slip her glowing hand into his, and the warmth that passed between them felt more healing than her powers ever could. But not everyone on Anthris welcomed a human. One night, while Ethan slept, Cyril's people found them. Towering figures draped in robes of living fabric, their eyes glowing brighter than hers. They surrounded the broken shuttle, voices sharp like chimes. "He is not for you," one said. "You endanger yourself," said another. "He will plant weakness in you." Ethan woke to shouting, stumbled outside, and found Cyril standing between him and her kin. Her arms spread wide, her hair wild in the wind. "He is mine," she cried, shocking them with the force of her voice. "You do not understand. He carries life differently, but it is no weakness. It is strength. His kind risks everything to protect what grows inside. I have learned from him, and I choose him." Her people stared. Their gazes shifted uneasily. Finally, the tallest one spoke. "Then you cannot remain among us." Cyril did not falter. She turned, took Ethan's hand, and pulled him toward the dunes. They fled into the night together. When they finally stopped, far from the glow of her people's sanctuaries, Cyril collapsed against him, trembling. "I have left everything I knew," she whispered. "For you." Ethan held her close. "Why?" She looked up, eyes wet with something that shimmered like liquid starlight. "Because you showed me what it means to carry life inside. Not only with body, but with heart. You planted something in me, Ethan, and it grows here." She pressed her hand against her chest. "Even if I never carry as humans do, I will always carry you." For once, Ethan had no words. He kissed her instead, softly, reverently, tasting salt and starlight on her lips. And as the alien night embraced them, Cyril finally understood what "inside me" truly meant. Not biology, not mechanics, but love.